Welcome to Spiritual Insurgency. I'm Jason Lupo, sitting here with my co-host, Aaron Luhar.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
And just a guy, Jim Miller.
Morning.
And Aaron's got the news for us today, so I'm going to pass it off to him.
Yeah, got the news today. I've been ready all day to give the news. Kind of top of mind right now is Lollipop Boy. Did you guys hear about the Lollipop Boy?
I don't even know what that is.
Dum-Dums just showing up at your parents' house.
Fox.
Great.
Yeah, no, Fox News is reporting boy orders 70,000 lollipops to his home using his mom's phone. She about fainted. 22 cases of Dum-Dums after a boy in Lexington, Kentucky may have to pick up a few chores because he got on his mom's phone, ordered 70,000 lollipops. He's 8 years old, got a hold of the mom's Amazon account. 22 cases. Would love for Jason to be able to get this shot of these lollipops just all boxed up at the front door.
I mean, I would put the shops in there just as for some context. On this website, 2,300 account box of Dum-Dums is $135
Per box?
per box. So that's like
Eight grand, I think. $8,000.
I don't know if it's $8,000. It's probably like
No, it's more like
30. $3,000.
somewhere
But
in there with tax.
it's
Did he use Prime? Did he get free delivery?
I sure guess so.
What's it on Amazon?
Imagine it, plus shipping. He's like, my mom has a Prime account.
If you guys are looking at this going, I think I want some Dum-Dums, I'll put an Amazon link for some Dum-Dums down below if you want to support us. You can also support us by hitting that subscribe button.
And if the marketing department at Dum-Dums is watching, you guys need to step in and say, we're waiving it, it's free, and that's a great marketing play right there.
I mean, 10 pound, 300 count, $25.
Those are
That's
the
a- that's
suckers
a lot
who
of
run
math.
banks all the time and stuff, and wherever you go.
The self-congratulating left got caught with their pants around their ankles. LifeNews.com is reporting liberal media wins Pulitzer for lying about abortion bans. ProPublica had received a 2025 Pulitzer Prize for a report critics say falsely blamed a Georgia woman's death on pro-life legislation, despite evidence that her fatal complications stemmed from the abortion pill. So this reporting team was awarded the prize for the coverage the Associated Press described as, quote, reporting on pregnant women who died after doctors delayed urgent care in states with strict abortion laws, according to Sean Fleetwood of The Federalist. I just like to bring this stuff up, guys, because for so long I just got sick and tired of seeing liberal media constantly patting themselves on the back and giving themselves awards, and then later it would come out as just pure propaganda or just straight up lying. So here's another case in point once again. I know Jason's got something to say.
I think we just need to get rid of all of these awards. We need to get rid of the Oscars. We need to get rid of the Grammys, the Tonys, it's just.
I have a friend named Tony.
Does he hand out
Get
the
rid of
awards?
him too.
You know, fun fact, Tony's short for Anthony. And Tony backwards is why not? Just so everybody knows out there. If you have a friend named Tony, you're gonna have some fun with that one.
I mean, let's get rid of the Pulitzer. Let's get rid of the Nobel Peace Prize. Let's get rid of all this crap.
I kind of like the Nobel Peace Prize out of all of them. That had some good intent. It's gotten a little
And then
weird,
let's
but I
air.
hear what you're saying.
We need to air the Darwin Awards live across the nation. Like the Darwin Awards don't get enough attention, and yet you guys know what the Darwin.
Yes, I do.
And yet everybody cares about these Pulitzer prizes.
I
which
think the
nobody
Darwin
cares
Awards
about.
is way more. It's way more with what's going on nowadays. It's a much better modern level of the things. I mean, when you're like me, you're like, man, I'm old, dude. We used to like pump our fuel then pay, and then you talk to some kids about it, and they get all like, what? And you're like, I'm sorry, man. We used to just be better, man. We didn't. We weren't. We're like, I got to come back here tomorrow. People know me. It's in my neighborhood, and we didn't want to steal. We took quite a bit of dignity in paying for and doing our own things. But yeah, these awards now, these are what? Oh, let's just pat ourselves on the back. Hey, I'm going to give you an award. You get the Jimbo Award and Just a Guy Award this week just because you're here. There you go. I'm celebrating mediocrity. I am now part of the modern era.
This could be a thing, like the Jim Just a Guy Awards. Like every week you award somebody.
Yes.
You're like, hey, this is the most mediocre, average, everyday American that's doing what they're supposed to do.
Hey, look at that. It's a person not robbing, stealing, or murdering, or raping. Look at that. You get the Just a Guy award this week.
The guy
The
with
Just a Gal award too.
just a gala. Just a gala.
You know, they're like, what? And you're like, here's your award for being a human being. It's decent, fantastic.
Well, speaking of undecent human beings, the WorldNet Daily is reporting lesbian judge blocks school board from removing sexually explicit books, saying it's unconstitutional to follow conservative values. School board in Colorado cannot remove sexually explicit, profane, and transgender books from school libraries because the school board is conservative, according to a federal judge touted as the first openly lesbian judge west of the Mississippi. I don't even know what to say, man.
Judges are supposed to be unbiased, and this seems very, very, very biased.
So it's always supposed to be the rule of law, is it not? Unbiased, doesn't matter if I like you, hate you, if I'm your cousin, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, your neighbor, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's whoever this judge does scissors with. That's supposed to be making decisions on. Then it's just supposed to be the rule of law, the Constitution, the rights, the freedoms, the liberties that are supposed to be exercised, and that's it, right? Not some, oh, it's conservative, so I'm against it. So yeah, it sounds extremely biased and just overreaching with a position that has now been also. I have low faith for judges. What about you? Do you like? I'm doing court, to be honest with you.
No, I have very little faith in judges. I think judges have all become activists, and they've subverted the rule of law by politicizing, weaponizing the system for their pet peeves, their proclivities, their agendas. That's what's happening. It's always happened. It's probably getting worse.
Leverages,
but what's
angles, yeah.
Interesting about the story is the judge actually refused to look at the during the evidentiary hearing, look at the books herself. She didn't even want to determine whether the books in its filings demonstrated vulgar and inappropriate material.
Didn't even want to look to see if it was inappropriate for a bunch of small children. What grade is this? Is this just all the schools, like middle school through 12 kind of thing, like K through 12, or what is this?
It's
regardless, it shouldn't be in the school, but it didn't even want to look at it. What judge is this, so we know the name of this judge to make sure next time the voting comes around for a judge to be like, no, I'm good. Is it a Governor Sausage recommended judge?
Judge Charlotte Sweeney.
Yeah, that sounds like a criminal name right there. Right? So I'm Charlotte Sweeney. You're like, yeah, no, you're trying to rob me somehow. Yeah, sounds like a criminal crook.
There we go.
There, want to be biased, Judge? I was just biased because of your stupid name. You're welcome. Thank me later.
Well, time to run a campaign to get rid of her.
Yeah.
Moving along, we have. Let's see what we got. Montana governor signs law to stop discrimination against Christian families who adopt children. This one stood out to me because I was actually shocked to find out that kids that are up for adoption are generally given to same-sex couples, non-Christian couples. I would argue that families that...
That's how Governor Sausage and that camera kid got their kids.
...are probably best positioned to adopt because they are Bible-believing mothers and fathers. Governor Greg Gianforte signed legislation May 1st that protects families and faith-based adoption and foster care providers from government discrimination based on their religious and moral beliefs. So this just illustrates the point that Christian families have been discriminated against throughout the adoption process, because I believe we are in a spiritual battle. This is spiritual insurgency. The enemy does not want these children to go into the hands of good parents who will raise them in the admonition of the Lord. He wants these kids to go to Ted and Larry, who may abuse them, because I will say something that's very controversial, which is I think it's completely wrong to allow same-sex couples to adopt children. That is a subversion. It's an assault on natural order. And statistically speaking, those are the cases in which the kids get abused the most. Go figure. Gentlemen?
No Adam and Steves.
No Adam and Steves.
You want some more Adam and Eves. Huh?
I want some Adam and Eves. No Adam and Steves.
I got you. Look, man, I know a lot of people of many different backgrounds and stuff. So I agree with you for the most part with it. I personally don't have a bunch of problem with the gays and the stuff like that. I don't care. If you want to run with scissors, fine. My sister-in-law, she runs with sisters. It's fine. She's a very good person. She takes care of my niece very well. And I don't really have a problem with it. I get what you're saying with it. I think that it needs to be more of a thing of not discriminating on anybody with any of it, regardless, just being like, no, these are good people. And there are some good people that are same-sex that do practice a lot of Christian beliefs and stuff and do go to church and things too, just to throw it out there on my end. So I get what you're saying. And no, they shouldn't be discriminating because they got a religious belief and they're like, oh, we don't want those kids going somewhere where they're like, hey, don't rape, don't murder, don't steal. Here's the 10 Commandments on top of it. Be a good person. Well, don't let them adopt them. They might turn out being good people.
No, I'm actually for the reverse discrimination, and I'm going to go on record and say that we should not allow same-sex couples to adopt children. Period. And I'll cash that check.
No,
Justin,
I got
Jason.
you.
Why do I want to call you Justin? Justin Lupo.
Justin, I'm Justin.
I'm inviting you into the controversial waters.
Justin, Justin.
Justin, Jason.
You're inviting me into the controversial waters.
Welcome.
Back, so previous to, I think it was about the early 2000s, they did not allow same-sex couples to adopt, and they also did not allow single moms or single dads to adopt. And meanwhile, we're looking at this like giant growing amount of children that are in foster and care and adoption care. And I don't actually have a problem with single moms and single dads adopting. I do have an issue with same-sex couples adopting.
Come on.
I will stand with you on that.
Let's
No,
go.
I got you. I personally just care more if you're a good person or not. You're not a predator. You're not a groomer. You're not a trafficker. You're not a rapist. You're not evil. You're not a thief. You're not an addict. You're not you're not trying to hurt. I care more about good or bad people, to be very honest with you on it. And there's so many kids that don't have homes that I'm like, I prefer the quality of people versus whatever it may or may be that's being discriminated on against. That's all I'm saying with it, and that's where I'm kind of leaving it. And we can disagree on it, that's fine. But I know we all like good people, so I think we're fine as a whole with this.
I mean, the biggest problem is that we have a foster care system that's growing, that we don't have enough foster families. We have foster families with history of abuse that are continued to allowed to
Or they just collect checks from the
take these
system.
kids. They use the kids for their own wealth and for their own pocketbooks. It's a very messed up system, in my opinion. I think it needs a lot of reform.
It needs a lot of broke down and rebuilt to a proper manner as a whole, yes. And it does include even vetting who the kids are being adopted with properly, in my opinion, because you see a lot of things. Oh, they were adopted and this and that, and you're like, what the heck? How did they not notice these people were just coming in here being fake? They were just showing up being WWF characters, going, "Oh yeah, it's super good. Look at me. I dress nice." You're like, no, you're a turd in a suit.
Yeah, well,
Terrible predator. Get away from these children.
the other thing is this. I mean, there's a huge hurdle to overcome when it comes to the obstacles that exist in adopting. And one of those is financial. And I think a lot of states have tried to make changes to open the door for more families, more parents to afford to adopt children. But
Not make the finance a barrier. Make it like,
Correct.
oh, you're great people. We'd love to see you take care of these babies that have no parents and no home, no love.
yeah, well, and the babies are the easy part. I think it's the older children, the 10, the 11, the 12-year-olds that are sitting in the foster care system, want a loving home to be involved in, and everybody wants to adopt the little kids.
No, I'm adopted. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I didn't have a good male role model of a good father, after being adopted, I would have probably turned out pretty bad. I'm pretty much naturally rambunctious and just drop my coffee cup. But the point being is having a good person that's got a good guide and wanting you to be a good person and reach your maximum potential of just being decent. It does help having a good male, strong, and my father's very religious, so yeah.
I mean, Aaron's adopted. His parents just never told him.
They just bought the tube at Walmart.
I'm a tube baby.
Yeah, what do you do? We'll just put it in the microwave for 10 minutes. And it'll happen, and it's like he's like,
I'm a microwave
It's
baby.
like, what happened? He's like, chia, and they're like, no. My microwave, and you're like, okay, dude. 2 minutes, then what? We'll just poke a couple holes in the top and then let it cool off. It'll be fine. All right, did you add enough salt to it? Oh, too much pepper, and relax, You're like,
All right, Aaron, what else do you
The future
got?
of fertility, guys. Molecular science. Speaking of governors on a roll, Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia vetoed 2 legislative packages on May 2nd that would have established a, quote, right to contraception in the state and forced insurance companies to cover contraception without exemptions for religious organizations. I'm really a pro-life guy. I have a lot of friends that are in that pro-life movement and the pro-life fight. And what they're telling me is the back door to this demonic human sacrifice system is going to be the IUDs, the what I would call Walgreens CVS abortion clinics, where you can actually kill your baby through other methods of contraception,
All
like
those Plan B things. And
yeah,
all
the,
that.
the pil-
That's the take a pill the next morning because you were a harlot for the evening.
exactly.
I'm going to go as far to say that this is pregnancy insurance. That all of this is pregnancy insurance, and if they want their pregnancy insurance paid for, I would like my car insurance paid for by the government.
Well, that's a great point.
I am tired of it being a bunch of laws and stuff that I have to buy insurances, period, and that the government is so involved with these in their insurance buddies, making it to where no matter what it is, I don't care if it's renters, homeowners, car, medical, what you have to get this insurance, and you're like, dude, you're forcing me to purchase a thing that's now non-competitive. Then where it's coming out as tax money to make sure these things go, and then you still have to pay for it, and you're like, this is dumb. This is dumb. You're forcing us to purchase a thing. So what was this dude?
Yeah,
name
so-
again, Gallican?
Glenn Youngkin.
Yumpkin.
Youngkin.
I'm not gonna lie, his name sounds like a pastry. I feel like I'm buying. Would you like a 12-pack of Yumpkins? Thank you, Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, I'll
With
take
with coffee.
I'll take a dozen
Yeah,
because
I'll have a baker's dozen of Yumpkins.
birth control pills, IUDs, and other methods of contraception, and banned restrictions on its sale or distribution. So basically, what's happening is we have governors standing up, defending life, not allowing this backdoor abortions to take place. This is the new fight, guys. It's going to happen, on these fronts. What's your thoughts, Jason? Is this obviously something you applaud? I'm sure.
I mean, I big applause to Glenn Youngkin. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's done a great job. And I would love to see other Republican governors take note that they have the ability to stand strong and watch the American people back them. The whole topic is so interesting from so many different perspectives because really at the end of the day, the left is trying to make this about rape and incest, and it's a very small percentage of the cases of abortion, but at the same time, we have a population that has been raised to this belief that that abortion is a form of birth control, and that's just so wrong. I mean, we've got to get this out of the heads of our culture that it's okay if you get pregnant, you just abort the child. I mean, if we go in with that logic, of course we're going to see this growing epidemic of abortions.
Yeah, what's been lost is what you're alluding to is that we haven't taught good morals, values, or ethics. We've just taught, hey man, put your hoo-hoo and the ha-ha, and who cares about the consequences or anything. If you don't want children, just don't be going out there all willy-nilly doing stuff, for crying out loud. Actually, take it. It's supposed to be more of an intimate thing, not a loosey-goosey thing. Don't be a freaking harlot out there every 10 seconds going, oh, whatever. Who cares? I got a B the next morning pill and some other stuff. And, oh, there's a tax-funded abortion clinic. I won't tell nobody. I'll just go get an abortion, Maybe dude wanted to know, too. And it's just become a standard practice of like, look, don't be a hooker or a slut. Don't be a whore, dude or chick. I don't care. Just stop.
Guys,
Crying out loud. You just try to be decent about your stuff. Well, look, I went and got drunk and got pregnant. Yeah, good job. Wow. Way to celebrate less than mediocrity with your disgusting freaking lips.
I take it those people are not going to get the Just a Guy award.
They are not.
You're so bold and brave.
He's so bold and brave. Why do you think STDs are everywhere? Oh, I just got drunk. I didn't know. It's an excuse to not be in my right frame of mind and off to the abortion clinic the next morning, you sick freaks.
Public Citizen leaked a very interesting report that puts the Trump administration into some weird waters. New financial disclosures reveal Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi. Again, this was nominee. This was an article from January 17th. Now she is the confirmed AG. Represented Pfizer, raising new conflict of interest concerns about DOJ investigations. Nominee Pam Bondi raises major conflict of interest concerns about her relationship with drug manufacturer Pfizer, which has just been involved in 5 recent DOJ investigations, according to Public Citizen's corporate enforcement tracker. I think this is interesting because it reminds me of the revolving door of government officials back and forth with the private sector, the proverbial wolf protecting the hen house. This is from Tom Renz on Twitter this morning. It appears our AG recently represented Pfizer in light of the lack of prosecutions or apparent interest in protections for the crimes against humanity that occurred around COVID, including the alleged rampant SV40 contamination, SV40 promoters, and the Pfizer shots. This is phenomenal. And that doesn't even consider the fraud that occurred and lack of informed consent. In light of this information and the failure to do anything to prosecute the Epstein list, people behind J6 or anyone behind the unrest in America, I think we need to start looking more closely at Bondi. Where's that loomer on this, according to Tom Renz? My MAGA friend over here, Jason, what are your thoughts?
My MAGA friend. I think that's a doll, like a My Buddy doll.
Just a guy over here. I feel like I need a red hat right now. I mean, listen, I think that everybody wants the law and order that we expect from the Trump administration, and I think that it's been too slow to deliver at times, and at other times it's been very quick. I don't know the reason why. I could understand why people are upset. I'm not happy about the delivery of some of this stuff either. But I will say that it's like the news cycle is so fast in terms of everything that this administration is doing that I don't want to be like, well, we could just wait because we got to make sure it happens. But there's so many issues that are taking place across the world right now that I understand why there might be some delays in it. But yeah, it needs to pick up speed. I mean, we want to see the Epstein client list. We want to see all that information. We don't want excessive amounts of redacted documents. But at the same time, we are 100 days in. I'm sure that Pam Bondi has some hurdles that she's had to overcome in the process of trying to get through this case. So I would say that maybe we could give her a little bit more patience.
Okay, because girls take a longer time to get ready. We just need to be patient with Pam. She's doing her makeup, guys.
Doing the makeup, okay.
What the fun? It does sound like a conflict of interest, though. So right now they're going against the Pfizer stuff, going, hey, you guys screwed up a bunch of crap and you're being filthy and it's a big conflict of interest, yada, yada, yada. But she was a lawyer for Pfizer,
yes,
representing in that fashion and
yes,
a legality of like, oh, well, da-da-da. Yeah, maybe she needs to probably look at all this stuff, be very unbiased, and recuse herself and get a sit-in or something for this particular situation.
I wouldn't disagree. We have a huge issue with the fact that most of these politicians are bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you're bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical industry, the question becomes, well, if you go against the industry that's paid to get you into these positions, whatever position it might be, then you're going up against the funders of your own race, and they're going to fund somebody else to take your power. So what would be nice is if we got rid of the lobbying money that existed in this country, but that's probably never going to happen.
Well, you guys are kind and gracious. I think Orange Man is bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical industry. Call him Operation Warp Speed President. I think this is just par for the course. I know that's probably not popular opinion. But I think we are sitting in a...
Aaron, you are always a popular opinion.
Oh, my
Aaron
goodness.
Lujan, the popular opinion.
I don't know if he's always the popular opinion. He just feels like he's the popular opinion.
He always say, hey, guys, it's probably not popular. Well, but I eat my bananas with the peel on.
That is
like the
Operation Warp Speed.
Have opinions.
The Operation Warp Speed is my biggest issue with the Trump administration the first time around. I have issues with the fact that they pushed through this these vaccines, these mRNA vaccines, as quickly as they did without any testing.
You remember that movie Balto, the dog in Alaska taking those vaccines up? I like how they sold it to us like that. Like, oh my God, we're all gonna die.
Pfizer produced that movie.
Yeah, what was the Bolt? Remember though, was that vaccine for polio or something? I don't know.
But at the same time, you look at RFK, right? Trump put RFK in place. RFK is going hard against these pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
And
I like that guy.
And you see the backlash because the media is creating this firestorm of, oh my gosh, there's 2 cases of measles in this town. It's like, those kids will survive, I promise you.
Measles. I like that commercial with that kid. I'm stronger than measles. I got a measles vaccine. Well,
let's
be fine.
You know, if polio starts coming back like maybe we should be a little concerned.
Hold
But
up.
we're going to eradicate
or measles.
You know, if we're going to look for vaccines, let's look for some vaccines to eradicate freaking pedophilia or something, all right? And then I'm all about it. We can warp speed that right into place, and Balto can pull it.
I'll
right
be
in
kind to
time.
Donald Trump, guys. He brought China to their knees today. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says he will be meeting with Chinese officials in Switzerland to begin trade talks with China. Bessent went on Fox News to break the news. Quote, the world has been coming to the U.S. and China has been missing the peace. I was going to be in Switzerland to negotiate with the Swiss. Turns out the Chinese team is traveling through Europe and they will be in Switzerland also. So we will meet on Saturday and Sunday. So it looks like China's crying uncle.
Well, China might be crying uncle, but Canada is picking up a very hard line anti-America status at the present moment. Canada just elected a new Prime Minister, Mark Carney. He says the old relationship with the United States is over. Tim is looking at me like, let's see.
Relationship.
Here you go. I'll play the video for you.
Go ahead. Let's see. This
I'll
dude's
play the
dude's
video
name
for
is
ya.
Carney or Kami?
Carney Asada.
Carney the Kami? Okay.
Carney Asada.
Just as bad as the former Justin Trudeau, if not
Oh,
worse.
God.
All right, here you go. Here's the video.
America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen. Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over. The system of open global trade, anchored by the United States, a system that Canada has relied on since the Second World War, a system that, while not perfect, has helped deliver prosperity for a country for decades, is over. These are tragedies, but it's also our new reality. We are over the shock of the American betrayal, but we should never forget the lessons.
But you're going to take us forward.
We have to look out for ourselves. Nous sommes maîtres chez nous. Nous allons bâtir des millions de logements. When I sit down with President Trump, it will be to discuss the future economic and security relationship between two sovereign nations. And it will be with our full knowledge that we have many, many other options than the United States to build prosperity for all Canadians. A new path forward. Because this is Canada, and we decide what happens here. Your phone's ringing. Sorry, just okay. All right. Just hang on. It's okay? You're good. The point is that we can give ourselves far more than the Americans can ever take away. But even given that, I want to be clear. The coming days and months will be challenging, and they will call for some sacrifices. But we will share those sacrifices by supporting our workers and our businesses. Every year with an entirely new housing industry. Vive le Canada. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Now you can go.
And now I can go fine. Look, it's easy to be mouthy when you got the greatest fence in the freaking world, America, keeping you from all the problems. This mouthy little weaselly, perfume-wearing, frog-leg-eating pile of turds here. He's just the same old crap. He's just another turd dough. What the hell is up with this? America goes, oh, the betrayal of America. What, were we like dating or something? I didn't know about it? Did you take the ring? Did he keep the ring? He sure looked like he kept the ring in the breakup, right? Oh, well, still protect us. It's fine, but you'll never betray Canada. Wee, la, 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 frog legs, wine, something French garbage crap.
Let's
Shut up.
just be friends with benefits.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, listen.
When I sit down, it'll be two sovereign nations. Canada already is a sovereign nation, you ding-dong. Look at this guy. What did he do? Oh, I read Trudeau say it wasn't. We got to stop the truckers because they want freedom, and that's American and not Canadian.
Mother truckers.
Trudeau.
Well,
I like a lot of Canadians, too, by the way. I have Canadian friends, just for the record out there, and I like them.
I love how they panned over and there's like this lady in the audience just bored out of her mind, yawning.
That dude is boring as all hell.
I mean, he's not exciting. He's not energetic. But
Because he doesn't believe what he's even talking about. That's why. He's just reading off cue cards.
Canada can't even win the Stanley Cup. I mean, they haven't won the Stanley Cup.
all
in
about
years.
hockey, and they can't
Jason,
even do that.
No, that's not true. We just had a Four Nations face-off. Canada beat the United States 3-2.
Oh, but their NHL team cannot, like, their NHL teams cannot win the Stanley Cup. I'm just saying. Look, they haven't won. Winnipeg stands the best chance.
I'm not going to lie, I like saying
I'm not a Canadian nationalist. I'm not going to defend Canada.
No, it's fine. Just say Winnipeg together. It's fun to say Winnipeg.
I want the Canadian national.
Congratulations.
I don't feel like it's an award.
Winnipeg.
Canada would benefit from Canadian nationalists.
Yeah.
In terms of like how we see Christian nationalism taking place, like in this country, and this idea of Christian nationalism taking place in Canada would probably spawn that country into a new dimension.
Well, I don't take Canada out of the fight. Let's not forget those truckers a couple years ago that stood their ground.
There's a lot of
Red-blooded patriots
a lot of
in Canada.
yeah. So
Those truckers were gangster.
But it was interesting because the Canadian people were steamrolling towards a conservative governorship.
so you think
And
the election is
not a
rigged?
governorship, but
Is that what you're saying? Canadian
No.
elections are
No, you saw the polling drastically change when Trump doubled down on his talk about Canada being.
so
a
Trump
50%.
actually has more influence in Canada than this guy's thinking.
Well, I think that I mean they used it. They used Trump to swing the election back in the Liberals' favor over in Canada.
They were really scared they were going to become the 51st state.
I believe so. Last news: Sistine Chapel sealed as the first vote for the new pope is underway. Cardinals took their oath of secrecy this morning. My money is on Tagle.
The Chinese guy in a Ferrari.
Chinese Ferrari guy that sounds like very Italian. Technology.
Is there a connect? Like, or do we just make up this Ferrari thing, or like, is this?
Yeah, well, he said
Thing.
he thought he sounded like a
Sound like an Italian guy. In a
Italian guy in a
Ferrari.
Ferrari. And he said
He
he's
does.
Chinese.
He just sounds like that guy walking around like when there's technology around. He's like technology, and you're like, all right, man, I like it.
It's a me, Matty. Well, anyways, I just wanted to go on record. I think Tagle is probably going to win this thing.
Tagle, technology, the Tagle.
I wanted to bet on it, but they don't allow you to bet in the United States on it.
The bet on
They don't
my
let you
phone.
bet. Oh,
They-
dude.
I guess you cannot use Poly Market in the United States, which kind of sucks because I was totally going to put money on Tagle.
Bought my niece a Polly Pocket. I don't know what Polly Market is.
We should have Mario as the Pope. That would be.
I mean,
so
$50
cool.
was going to return like $300. I mean, I kind of hope that I'm wrong so I can go like, yeah, I saved money.
Chinese Pope. Technology.
All right, well,
I don't know.
this has been an interesting show. But
Chinese popes.
follow us, like us, share us. Thank you for joining us. Join us every day.
Peace.
God bless.
Want it better, be better.